welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street. Well, what a Tuesday it's been panning out to be. 22,800 is back on the Nifty with us. There's an over 300 point of a rally on the Nifty. The Sensex has zoomed past 1,000 points in trade today. So building on the momentum from yesterday, we've actually seen the markets get onto the momentum and see crucial levels coming back onto the Nifty as well. There's a smart move, there's volume-led move that you can see across the sectors. There's a broad-based rally that you're seeing. Not just the benchmarks and the major indices like the Nifty Bank that are participating in the trade today, but even the broader markets, the mid and small caps, which were rather being seen as the pain points in the trade, are now up nearly 2.5 to 3% in trade today. All the sectors of the Nifty are up in trade. Media stocks up 3.5%. The top moving sector, realty, follows with a 3% move. You have consumer durables, PSU banks, autos, metals, all of them driving the strong show. Of course, the heavyweight spaces like banks and financials are really contributing in the terms of quantum on the Nifty jump that you are really seeing today. On the Nifty, the top movers remain Shriram Finance, that's up by over 3%, M&M, ICICI Bank, Tata Motors and L&T as those top movers on the Nifty today. While on the downside, you only have 4 stocks that are actually declining. You have Bajaj Finserv that has been rather under pressure right from morning after the news flow that the company is going to be acquiring the Alliance's life as well as health insurance businesses. Bharti Airtel, Tech Mahindra and Reliance Industries is actually in the red. Minor cuts that can be seen on Reliance Industries. So despite no support from RIL, you can actually see the markets continuing to soar higher in trade. There's a strong move even in the PSU stocks, a 1.8% of a move on the higher side. You have the defense names coming back in strong show. So HAL up by almost 4%, BHEL, GAIL, Power Finance Corporation, Container Corp, NMDC. You see a whole host of stocks from various sectors that are up by over 2.5 to even 4%. India VIX is down 1.2%, the only index that's down in trade today, and we welcome that 13.2% coming in on India VIX. Even in the F&O space, smart moves that can be seen on the new age digital names like PB Fintech or even a Paytm. Poonawalla FinCorp is also up by about 7% in trade as well. So we have seen a combination of global factors, positive global cues, domestic tailwinds, technical resilience fueling optimism in the Indian equities as of today as well. We will be welcoming our guest shortly to help us understand what is the way forward into the markets. But actually, let's delve a little deeper to understand how in the broader market some of the stocks are really making a mark today. Like when we talk about the Nifty 500 names, you have a lot of interesting names. You have one MobiKwik Systems that's at a 20% circuit today, a rarity that we've not been seen on one MobiKwik for a long time now. So that's something that's really garnering all the traction, a 20% circuit for this one. You have Uttam Sugar Mills that's also at a 20% circuit. Then you also have names like Talbros Auto, a 16% move on that one. Mastech, Raymond, a 15% move. Strong double-digit gains that can be seen on many of these stocks. Even Ola Electric Mobility. Remember, in the last couple of days, there has been quite a bit of a pressure on Ola Electric. There was news about how one of the vendors is taking the company to insolvency. The stock had slipped below the 50-odd mark today. Smart recovery, 12% higher for Ola Electric at 52-odd levels can be seen. Then you also have names like Morpin Laboratories, TVS Electronics, Triveni Turbine, Jyoti Structures, Wellspun Living, as some of those stocks that are moving. In fact, sugar names are actually coming up in traction. Magad Sugar is also up by about 11-odd%. The entire space seems to be buzzing with strong gains within the Nifty 500 basket. Let's look at the Nifty next 50 names too, and to see how that one is also moving. Remember, this is also a space that we should be watching out for. Interesting names here too. Zomato, 4.4% higher. No, now 6.5% higher, 216. What a rebound we've seen on Zomato from about 201, 202 odd levels all the way up 6.5% higher at 216 odd levels today. A very smart move. Varun Beverages also from the Pepsi bottler space, and you know the summer theme that we've been talking about, that's also doing a smart move today, 5% higher. Then you also have names like Macrotech Developers from the real estate space, space. Consumer durables names like, you know, a Havells or a Bosch, that's also buzzing higher in trade. Siemens is doing well from the capital goods space as well. You have Info Edge, of course, with Zomato moving. We always see a move on Info Edge as well. Godrej Consumer Products is another one. So consumer durables definitely garnering a lot of traction there. From the railway pack, you have names like IRCTC, IRFC, that's also buzzing in trade. Triveni Turbine, we also marked. So railway, some of the stocks, some stocks within the defense are also moving up strongly. In the mid and the small caps, let's see what's doing well. Small caps particularly, Apar Industries, 8.5% higher, 361 WAM. What a strong move, 7% up in trade today. Let's also look at some other names. CDSL moving up smartly, CAMS moving up smartly. So the capital goods space is also doing, for capital markets related stories are also doing up very well at this point in time. Aditya Birla Real Estate, there was this news flow of Pune luxury project starting, and therefore this space was also in thick action. You can look at how CAMS is moving, 5% higher, very, very strong volumes. So the entire space is coming back for the NBFC, the brokerage houses, capital markets related stories. So 361 WAM is 7% up. Your Geojit Financial Services 6.5% higher. Poonawalla FinCorp up. Dhani Services, IIFL Finance, MOFSL also up and about. Edelweiss is also up. All the broking related stocks are actually buzzing in trade today. A very, very strong move. PSU banks, Union Bank of India, Bank of Maharashtra, Central Bank, all of these stocks are also buzzing strongly in trade as well. Let's look at some of the other names. What else can we spot? Let's look at the metals pack as well. Many interesting names there. Vedanta, NMDC, Steel Authority, Hindustan Copper, Hindalco, we've named all. That's a strong move that we can see across the board. Then you also have names, let's also pull up some of the other interesting stories. Yes, defense, apart from HAL, you also have DCX Systems that's up 4%, Idea Forge, Cochin Shipyard, you have Mishra Dhatu Mission, then you also have Paras Defense. All of these stocks also doing very well. Another theme, remember viewers, we've been discussing how some of these facts as far as some of these stocks are concerned within you know, the kind of moves that we are seeing in the hospitality related spaces, tourism related spaces. Those are the pockets that are also doing very well in trade. Now let's look at Easy Trip Planners. That's up by 7% today. Thomas Cook, that's up 7% today. ITDC, another 5% of a move on the higher side. Coffee Day Enterprises, Restaurant Brands Asia, Sapphire Foods. So both the QSR as well as the hospitality chains, they're doing very well. Let's pull up some of the hotel stocks. Let's pull up Lemon Tree. Let's pull up Indian hotels, for instance. All of them buzzing in trade. You know, like we were discussing, the QSR chains. So we have Coffee Day Enterprises, you have Restaurant Brands Asia, you have Divyani International, Barbecue Nation, specialty restaurants, all of them doing very well in trade. What a day to have everything flying up. Let's in fact welcome our guest on board to really help you understand how is he really looking at this all across the board. A strong move that can be seen on the markets. We have Sunny Agarwal joining in. Hi Sunny, warm welcome, good afternoon to you. A great day to have you on the show. 22,825 is on the screens on the Nifty. Tell us, how are you really looking at this smart rebound in the markets? Slowly and gradually the momentum built up after Holi yesterday, and that has carried on in a strong way, and a broad-based rally that has unfolded today. What would you, you know, take this to be? Would you take this with a pinch of salt, or do you actually believe the worst is behind in the markets?
Yeah, good afternoon, Sakshi, and good afternoon to everyone. Thanks for having me on the show. I think after a long time, we are seeing a kind of sustained rally in the market. Usually, till date, there was a trend where you used to see the market opening up and then a sell off in the second half of the closer to the basically 330 or something. But what I feel is that, I mean, after today's rally, definitely, I mean, most of the parameters were in the favor of India as an equity market, whether it is the dollar index, whether it is the crude oil prices, whether it is booster by RBI in terms of rate cut or liquidity infusion. At the same time, the revival in capex by the government, the tax cut booster which will benefit economy beginning the month of April. So already many positives were there in the market, but everything was ignored because of the liquidity or the selling pressure from foreign institutional investor. And now I think I think it's a more of an global reallocation where we are seeing again most likely that money moving out from large developed markets like US or for that matter other emerging markets to India, which has turned relatively cheaper in terms of valuation also. So my belief is that I think this rally should sustain at least for 2 3 weeks going forward. So let's hope that there is no further much aggressive selling pressure from foreign institutional investor. Having said that, I feel that many individual stock would have formed the bottom also, since the bottom the valuations have turned comfortable in a few individual companies or a few sectors. And despite of market being volatile, I feel the smart money will start chasing those companies with an investment horizon of at least 12 to 18 months.
That's okay, but you're spoiled for choice, Sunny. I think today there is an across the board, buying that's happening. So, what would you pick and choose today? Which are the key sectors that you would bet big on this kind of a bounce that we are seeing today?
So, Sakshi, obviously, I think the key beneficiary of the liquidity boost by RBI, or for that matter, likely rate cut, one more rate cut in the month of April, is NBFCs, and we are seeing a kind of a relative outperformance by entire banking, financial services, and NBFC space, and again that continue to rally today also. So obviously, housing finance companies, or for that matter, gold loan financing companies looks attractive, or on the other hand, vehicle finance companies also are looking attractive at a current juncture. Banks, large cap banks like ICICI Bank, for that matter, Kotak, or for that matter, mid-sized banks like Karur Vysya or further Federal also looks attractive. Another sector which we like is currently the auto ancillary. We feel that the valuations have turned very reasonable. So there were many negative news in auto sector since last 2 3 months, starting from entry of Tesla, slowdown in volume, so on and so forth. But we still feel there are few players like Lumax Auto, or for that matter, Gabriel India, SJS Enterprises. So many mid to small size auto ancillary names we feel can deliver a healthy earning growth, and that remains our preferred choice in the current market. At the same time, on auto OEM side, what we feel is that companies like Mahindra and Mahindra, where we continue to see a very healthy volume growth. So, and on the other end, tractor companies like Escort, or a company like Swaraj Engine, which are supplying an diesel engine to Mahindra and Mahindra for its Swaraj brand of tractor. So, auto and selectively, we are bullish over there. Travel and hospitality. So we have already seen rally today also in companies like Indian hotels. But what we feel is that the tier two companies like Chalet Hotel, for that matter, or the turnaround stories like Sami Hotels look attractive at a current juncture.
Okay, got that. Let's actually dig a little deeper. I want to ask you about the new age internet space. That seems to be buzzing again. Zomato, I mean, what a strong recovery from about 201 odd levels. It was lagging around those levels for many a days. And suddenly we have this strong rally. It's nearing a 220 kind of a level, 7% up move that can be seen on Zomato. This is despite there was a negative news flow this morning saying one of their companies that were delivering uniforms to the company have alleged non-payment of dues of about 1.5 crores. They wanted to approach NCLT and take Zomato to court. Despite that, such a strong move has actually come in today. You have Paytm that's received the registration license for Paytm Money. That's buzzing in trade. PB Fintech is back after a little bit of consolidation because of the investment in their healthcare division. How are you looking at this entire space? What looks good?
Again, Sakshi, coming to this food delivery business, I think I would like to stay on a sideline for the time being. So we all know that quick commerce is a big pie of the overall company, and that's seeing a very heightened competition from many other players, and that can put pressure on margins at least for 2 3 quarters. And the same has been alluded by the respective management also. So maybe there is a short-term pain which is left as far as earning numbers are concerned. I feel within this fintech or for that matter tech based companies, car trade as a business is something which we are more gung-ho on. So car trade can be looked upon. Another company which we like from this segment is predominantly basically MedPlus. Again, if you track the performance of the company of MedPlus, consistent delivery, the increase in the share of the private label is leading to the expansion in margin. So MedPlus as a company is another company which we like. Just Dial again, a kind of offshoot of this tech business, predominantly catering to B2B SME segment, close to 5,000 crore market cap, sitting on equivalent cash on the book. So again, I feel Just Dial is a no-brainer at a current juncture.
Okay, got that. So those are some of the counters that you're marking. Let's look at the markets again. Where else can be seen strong momentum? ICICI Bank is the top mover now on the Nifty. M&M follows. You have Tata Motors that's pulling up. Let's discuss Tata Motors. That's an interesting one. 680 on Tata Motors. This has really tested a lot of patience for investors. Sunny, do you think finally the tide is turning for Tata Motors?
Again, Sakshi on Tata Motors, I would like to be cautiously optimistic. We all know that post correction, the downside is limited, but as far as upside is concerned, I think still there is a lot of headwind for the company, especially on a JLR portfolio. The kind of competition which we are seeing from Chinese player or for that matter, other competitor, that's can hamper the growth of Tata Motors as a company. So I think maybe one can accumulate gradually Tata Motors and then look forward to their commentary in the upcoming result season. At the current juncture, we are more bullish on Mahindra and Mahindra, or for that matter, Eicher, Swaraj Engine, and other auto ancillary names.
Hmm. Okay, got that. So that's as far as the auto pack is concerned. Let's also pull up real estate for that matter. Real estate is picking up pace yet again. Remember, in the last few weeks, we were looking at how realty was giving up some of its past gains and there was some kind of consolidation. Today, there's an over 3% of a move across the board. DLF, Godrej Properties, Macrotech, the erstwhile favorites are coming back. Sunny, would you bet big on this one?
Yeah, on real estate pack, again, we will be selectively bullish. So companies like Macrotech, where we have seen a kind of deleveraging playing out since last 2, 3 years. So 12,000 crore debt number has come close to now 8,000 crore. So that's the interest cost saving, which will be clearly visible on company's P&L. At the same time, there Palava city, because of the development, infrastructure development, that's a huge value unlocking which is awaiting over there. So Macrotech continue to remain our top pick. Another Mumbai-based micro player like Suntech Realty, so they have reported a very strong set of pre-sales number, and at the same time they are diversifying their revenue, wherein they are venturing into a rental business. So that will kick off for 2 years down the line. So Suntech Realty again, we feel the fair value is north of 500 rupees. So Suntech Realty. Among the Bangalore-based player, Brigade Enterprises is the one stock which we feel is trading at a very reasonable valuation. So Brigade can be looked upon as far as South-based player is concerned. And another player which is predominantly into the high-end properties, Shobha Developer, which is again a South-based player. So we feel again there the valuations are very reasonable.
Hmm. Okay, got that. So that's and we're seeing the markets further pick up momentum. 22,846 right now. There's nothing stopping the momentum that we are seeing. We are only and only climbing much further ahead in trade today. When we look at the markets, 1.5% higher for the benchmark itself. There are only three contributors on the lower end on the Nifty, but rest of them are all contributing positively. It's the banks that are taking the step on the front row. You can see ICICI Bank contributing 64 points on the Nifty's move today. HDFC Bank contributing 42 points. L&T, Infosys, M&M, Kotak Mahindra Bank, SBI as among those top contributors on the Nifty gains. Clearly, it's the banks. If I have to ask you to choose, Sunny, between ICICI, HDFC, Kotak Bank, or even SBI, how would you go about it?
I think looking at the growth outlook, I think the top pick continue to be ICICI Bank and Kotak. So here there is still some scope of stock price appreciation. HDFC, no doubt, trading at a very reasonable valuation, but still the growth is maybe 1 year away from here. So if I have to rank them, I think ICICI Bank, Kotak, and HDFC.
Okay, got that. So that's as far as the banks are concerned. Let's look at some of the other stocks. Within the mid caps, let's look at some names. Irida, 5.8% higher. This whole stock also has tested a lot of patience, coming back in full form. Fertilizers and chemicals. BSC, 5% higher. Indian hotels we discussed. CG Power. Delivery also within the new age internet stocks that are also up and about in trade. Very strong move across the board within the mid caps. Let's look at the small caps. We did mark a few. Let's see if there are any other names that are propping up. Finolex Cables, Wellspun Living, Apart Industries, Blue Star, PVR Inox also 6.5% higher, 961. You have Ircon International, CDSL, AB Real Estate, all of these stocks that are buzzing. In fact, Blue Star seems to be bringing me to the consumer durable story. And Sunny, right ahead of summers, consumer durable seems to be the new theme that everybody is looking at for the short term. Are you bullish on it, and should one really bet big?
I think, yes, we are bullish on the upcoming summer season, but we would like to ride this story through EMS players like PG, Electroplast, and Amber. There can be a probability of a brand fighting for market share and price war or something, but we feel that ultimately EMS player, very similar to an auto and kind of setup. So companies like Amber and PG Electroplast, we predominantly cater to all the large brand owners in the market. So we would like to ride this story through PG as well as Amber Enterprises.
Okay, fair point. I hope this has also helped viewers really get a sense of how the space is really going to go forward from here. Next up, let me bring in autos for you beyond the Tata Motor stock. We've already discussed M&M. Okay, let's also discuss the metal story. 2.2% higher. Sunny, how would you play the metal story with, especially this bounce also has a lot to do with what's happening in China. The China stimulus being talked about, Chinese economy getting back on track, and therefore we are also seeing this entire ripple impact on some of the sectors that are very closely related to what Chinese demand will be. Metals 2% higher. Do you think this is going to be the next theme that one should be watching out for?
Yes, you rightly pointed out, Sakshi, that China is one of the big demand driver as far as metal and metal products are concerned. And in case there is a revival in Chinese economy, and in case there is a reduced uncertainty in terms of trade war between US and China, then this augurs well for entire metal as a pack. So within metal, again, non-ferrous, that is aluminum, continue to remain relatively a stable commodity. So there one can look at players like Nalco and Hindalco. Steel sector has been grappling with a lot of dumping from China. So in case there is a revival in demand from China, we believe that the dumping from China can reduce significantly, and that can help recoup some profitability or EBITDA margin as far as steel players are concerned. So maybe we would like to ride this story through players like Jindal Stainless, which is a market leader as far as stainless steel is concerned, or for that matter, Jindal Steel and Power Limited. So these are the two companies through which we would like to play the steel as a sector. On mining side, we feel that companies like Coal India, where the risk reward is very favorable, trading at more than 4% dividend yield, 6.75 price to earning multiple. And player like Moil, which is again a manganese ore producer, a kind of proxy play again on stainless steel. So Moil looks attractive in terms of valuation.
Okay, got that. You know, we were just spotting some of the stocks, and PVR came into fore within the mid and the small caps. After a long haul, we are seeing this strong move, and this also has a lot to do with what Chava's box office collection has been. Remember, it's the 5th week running for the Vicky Kaushal starrer, and you know, this Lakshman Utekar's historical film has continued to dominate the domestic box office, and we've already seen a 1 month in theaters for this one. It's broken several records and outperformed multiple recent blockbusters as well, and we are already seeing the performance higher than some of the highest grossers of this year so far too. It's already collected 7.25 crore on the occasion of Holi too, and we've seen the Hindi version also at about 7.35 crores. There are several versions that have come in, and in all we are actually seeing the current box office collection of Chava standing at 550 odd crore rupees as well. So those are the kind of numbers that we are actually looking at. Anything on Chava and what that is doing for PVR Inox finally?
Yeah, so coming to PVR, the problem is that kind of the earlier heydays where there used to be a consistent back-to-back, a good box office collection. So blockbuster movies and the consistency of the same is that is missing in the industry. And to some extent, that is to blame. The blame can be given on OTT, where there is a lot of content sloshing around. So I think the consistency is something which is missing as far as PVR Inox is concerned in terms of number delivery, and that is directly linked to the availability of good content and box office collection. So I think I would like to, I mean, in short-term tactical play, it's okay, but if somebody is looking for a long-term business proposition, I think still this industry is grappling through good content and good box office collection.
Okay, Vicky Kaushal and Rashmika Mandana's latest movie Chava has proven to be a juggernaut for the box office. The film on the life of Maratha ruler Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj has really impressed the audiences, and 760 crores and counting worldwide is what we have the final figure coming in from Sacknilk, the trade platform that has informed Business Today on the same, and therefore we do see a strong momentum building up for PVR Inox 2. 327, just about 3 minutes remaining. 22,850 is upon us as far as the Nifty is concerned. Sunny, where do we go from here, and do you finally see a bottom having made on the markets?
So Sakshi, I don't know whether the bottom is in place. Maybe we'll get to know 1 month down the line that the 21,800 was the bottom. But as of now, as I was talking to our technical team also, I think 2300 or 23,200 is the level next resistance. And in case we are able to take that out, maybe we are heading towards 23,700 and 23,800. So finger crossed. I hope that today's short covering rally will be backed by a lot of delivery volume also. And in case there is a follow-up buying in the next 1 or 2 days, maybe I am expecting that this rally can continue in the next week also.
Okay, fair point. Any key stock ideas for tomorrow that you want investors to keep an eye out on?
Again, I would like to stay with the stocks which have delivered a decent return today. Uh, Case in point, Indian Hotel, again, we continue to remain bullish on that story. Travel and tourism should not get much impacted because of this global uncertainty which is going on. Indian Hotel is the one stock which we are bullish on. APL Apollo Tubes, again, a very market leader as far as structural steel tube industry is concerned, and we believe that company is on track to deliver its guided volume of 3 million ton in the current year and 4 million ton in FY26. So our fair value over APL Apollo is 1800 rupees, and I think the stock has relatively outperformed the market also during the last 2 3 months. So APL Apollo is one more pick I would like to suggest to your viewers.
Okay, fair point. Thank you so much then, Sunny, for being with us on the show today to help us navigate through these brilliant moves that we are seeing on the markets on Tuesday. 22,853 is what we have in front of us, 344 points higher in trade. Just the last few seconds of adjustment getting seen. Let's see whether we close above that 22,850 mark. The Nifty Bank up over 1,000 points, 2% higher, outperforming even the Nifty. 49,377 back on the Nifty Bank. Top moving sector, media 3.5% higher, realty up 3.3%. You have the Nifty next 50, small caps and mid caps up next, 2.5 to 3% up. Consumer durables 2.7% higher. PSU banks, autos driving the show. You even have the laggard IT, which was so far under pain in this entire last few days and weeks, 1.2% up for this one as well. Top mover on the Nifty, ICICI Bank 3.4% higher, M&M up by 3%, L&T, Shriram Finance, Tata Motors, the top performers in the F&O pack. Policy Bazaar parent company PB Fintech 8% higher in the F&O space. 197 Communications nearly 8% higher. Irida, Zomato upwards of 7% for all of them as far as the F&O is concerned. On the downside, you had Shree Cement, Bajaj Finserv, Chambal Fertilizers, Tech Mahindra as those which were dragging. But even the PSU stocks up nearly 2% in trade. GAIL, Smart Moves near 5% up. BHEL, HAL, Container Corporation, NMDC, IRFC, PFC and even IRCTC and BEL as some of those stocks that really did manage a strong showing in trade today. Among the topmost gainers on the Nifty 500 basket, you had One Mobi Quick Systems, Uttam Sugar 20% circuit, you had Talbros Automotive 16% higher, Raymond up 15%, you had Indo Amines also up in trade, Raymond Lifestyle as well 12.5%, 13% up, Ola Electric 12.5% higher, Morpan Laboratories. Then you also had Quadrant Future Tech, one of the recently listed stocks, 14% higher, Triveni Turbine 13% up in trade, Jyoti Structures and Saskin Technologies also up and about in trade. Within the banks, NBFCs, brokerage houses garnering all the show. 361 WAM 7% higher, Geojit Financial Services, IFL Finance, Poonawalla FinCorp, Motilal Oswal, all of them up and about in trade. What a strong showing is what we have seen. Remains to be seen how the foreign investors have looked at this day, and do we see after a long haul of sell-off some green from the FII side today as well, is something that we will be watching out for to see too. But a great way to end this fantastic Tuesday. Let's hope that this only builds on for the better going forward from here. We'll leave you at that, viewers. Do stay tuned with us on Business Today Television as the action and coverage on business and economics continues on the other side. But we'll be back covering the markets for you tomorrow morning at 8:45 a.m.
अरे भाई, ऑफिस में काम का प्रेशर, काम जल्दी खत्म कर, फिर थोड़ी मस्ती करते हैं. ओके, दिस